Hey everyone, round two. I've just gone live, but I got interference for some reason, so I deleted that one and we're trying again for the second time. So, I'm coming to you with something slightly different, okay? So, what I want to share is like a kind of like behind the scene of the mistakes that I had, the mistakes that I made in my business, that I see other people making the same mistakes. And I want to be totally transparent here, right? Because this is what I feel as though the industry is not doing, right? The industry is sharing all the wins, right? But they're not revealing the truths. They're not revealing the secrets. They're not giving you behind the scene view of the mistakes they made in order to like get them to where they are today, right? So I want to do something slightly different. I'm going to pull back the curtain of my business. I'm going to show total transparency on the mistakes that I made, right, before I hit my first six figure, before I got my first six figures. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I see so many coaches, so many experts making the same mistakes. And somehow, some reason, they're not fixing those mistakes. Now, if you caught my live that I did yesterday, I shared the statistics, the scary statistics, and I'm just going to bring them up here and I'm going to share them with you today. Again, the scary statistics of people starting a business and people failing in business. And again, one of the reasons why I'm doing this and shining light on this and shining light on the mistakes is because I do not want you to make the same mistakes. Or if you recognize that, oh wow, Andy says that this is a mistake and you're doing this, right? Potentially you can stop doing that. Because here's one of the things that I do when I work with clients, right? Is I get them to slow down. And the way that I get them to slow down is I get them to stop doing the things that they're doing. Because a lot of the things that they're doing is either, right, is either the right thing, but it's in the wrong order of sequence, meaning, yes, that works, but for where your business is right now, that's not the thing that you need, right? Or they're doing something totally way off course that's never going to work, right? So I allow them to slow down by stop doing the things that they're doing that's never going to help them to get the results that they want, so they can focus on the right things. Okay, so these things are the mistakes, the things that they shouldn't be doing. So if I can shine light on some of those mistakes and some of the things that you're potentially doing, it's going to help you to get clarity on, well, you know, I'm not going to waste my time doing those things, and I'm going to like focus in on doing this, right? So just back to the statistics, right? Now, 20% of businesses fail in their first year. Why is that? Right, 60% of businesses fail in their first 3 years of trading. Why is that? Well, the statistics of why is that 38% of startups fail because of lack of cash flow, right? Like cash is king. Cash is king. You've heard content is king. Well, cash is king, right? Cash is above content. If your business isn't profitable, if you don't have regular cash flow coming into your business, then your business can't survive. It's as simple as that, right? Having impact on the world is beautiful, right? Creating transformations is beautiful. But ultimately, above and beyond that, like you need cash flow. If you're not generating cash flow, you can't have impact. Or at least you can't show up and thrive to actually serve the people that you want to serve at the level that they need you to serve at in order for them to have the transformation. Okay, so you need cash flow. So 38% of startups fail because they lack cash flow. I don't want you to lack cash flow, right? I want you to have an abundance of cash flow. Also, 35% of startups fail because there isn't a need for their services or product or whatever it is that they're creating in the marketplace, right? Again, right? I don't want you to have a service or a course or a product or an offer, right, that the marketplace doesn't want. Again, these are all the problems that we solve when I work with clients, when coaches, experts hire me, right? We solve those problems. So we eliminate the risk of failure of not having enough cash flow, and failure of not being able to, have the right offer for the right marketplace to make the offer irresistible. That makes it a no-brainer that people want access to. So by me shining the light on my mistakes is going to help you to reduce the risk of you failing. Okay, so let me just share. I'm going to share two mistakes, right? The first mistake is that in the beginning, I made business complicated. I made business so complicated that it was really, really hard to run, hard to manage, and hard to operate. Right? Business was really complex. And I find that my thought process behind creating a really complex business is that I thought that business needed to be complex in order for me to be successful. And what I found is it's like the opposite is the truth. So let me just share what I mean by complex. Is that I thought is that I needed to have like 3 or 4, 5, 6 different, I needed like different offers. I thought I needed to have a suite of different products, different programs, different services at different levels. I thought I needed to service different people in different places, different areas of their journey. Which meant that my marketing message was all different for different people at different levels. Which meant that the website that I created back then, because I thought I needed a website, meant that I found it really hard to create a marketing message that really resonated with everybody, right? So I needed to have different pages on the website that resonated with, that spoke directly to a specific demographic of the marketplace, that was about a different, like solving a different problem in the marketplace. I thought I needed to have a webinar. I thought I needed to have a complicated sales funnel. I thought I needed to have a complicated back-end system. So already, right, my mind is already in a spin. And you can see how business is really hard to like run, to operate, to manage, to market, to sell, if it's so complex, right? And that all that complexity just brought frustration. It brought stress. It meant that I was like constantly firefighting behind the scenes, trying to build things out in the background before I actually just could get out there and actually start making things work. And what happened is that like I would never ever actually get out there in the marketplace to actually start selling, because I was constantly building things out in the background, because I thought that business needed to be complex. I thought that my belief back then was that in order for me to hit 6 figures, for me to be successful, business needed to be complex. And again, right, opposite was the truth. So what I found is that in order to be successful, right, business is all about simplicity. Business is all about simplicity. It's not about complex, it's all about simplicity, right? Complexity fails, and I've proven that, right? And I've got evidence to back that up. Complexity fails, simplicity scales. If your business is leaner, right, it's going to be easier to run, easier to manage, easier to operate, and easier to grow, which eliminates the risk of having stress, frustration, right? It means that you can get out there into the marketplace a lot quicker, easier and faster than what I was currently doing. So how did I simplify business? How did I go from having a suite of 5, 6 different products, offers, speaking to different marketplaces, with having all these different web pages, all these different landing pages, all these different offers, all these different price points, which just created chaos in my life and stress and frustration. How did I go from that, right? What did I have to do to make business a lot more easy to run and easy to manage and easy to operate and easy to grow? I just simplified it, right? I decided, right, just to have one offer. Just have one flagship offer that solved one problem for one specific person and delivered one specific result. Right now in business, if your business feels like it's like you've created a monster, right, and if you feel as though it's really, really complex, just lean in, right, with what I'm sharing with you right now, because this changed everything for me, and it can also change everything for you, right? Instead of trying to serve everybody, I understood what my area zone of genius was, and he decided just to lean in on that. I just decided to lean in on that, right? And what I did, and this is what I teach clients to do as well right now, is use what I call the power of one formula, right? The power of one is all about just like understanding your area zone of genius, right? Whatever that may be for you, right? But understanding the thing that you are good at, right? The thing that allows you to shine in the world, the thing that allows you to show up more powerfully, right? Because something that you can back, right? It's something that you know that you can generate a transformation around this topic, around this conversation. So the power of one formula is all about having one flagship offer where you can serve one person that's struggling with one specific problem, that's solving one specific, that's delivering one specific result. You've got one specific mechanism, right? You've got one successful client pathway, and you've got one price point. Now that means that you've got one marketing message, right? You've got one hierarchy marketing message that now you can share with the world. And that marketing message is going to have a big impact, right, on a very specific marketplace that's suffering with a very specific problem, that's trying to get to a very specific desired result that they can't do themselves. Now you're just serving, right, one demographic of the marketplace. Now business is easy to run, it's easy to operate, it's easy to manage, and now it's simple to scale. And I find that a lot of coaches and a lot of experts are going down the road of creating things that are really complex. Believing business needs to be complex in order to have success. Thinking that in order to hit six figures, right, business really needs to be difficult. It doesn't. If you look at some of the most successful people, right, within the space, inside the coaching space, consultancy space, expert space, right, they have just one offer. And they just master their craft at perfecting that offer. Nothing else, right? Let me know in the chat below if this makes sense. Let me know if right now your business is so complex, it's really hard to generate sales. It's really hard to market, right? Let me know if simplifying what you do makes sense, right? So that's one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I first started, thinking that business had to be complex when it didn't, right? The opposite is the truth. Simplicity is going to help you to get to success a lot quicker. You're going to hit six figures if that's the desire that you want, right? You're going to hit six figures a lot quicker, a lot faster, and a lot easier because business is now a lot more simple to run, okay? Now, the second mistake that I made was not taking ownership, right? Not taking ownership. Not taking ownership for several areas of my life and my business, right? Which wasn't allowing me to show up in the world as a powerhouse that I am, right? As the true authentic self that I am, right? Me shining my genius, me shining my magic, me shining my wisdom, me sharing my principles, my methodologies, right? Because I wasn't taking ownership. And I see a lot of coaches as well not taking ownership. And that's why I want to shine light on this mistake, right? Because if you don't take ownership on these areas that I'm going to explain to you and share with you right now, is that you're not going to show up. You're not going to play at the level that you desire in order to generate the results that you wish for from your business. Again, let me know, right, if this makes sense. So, what are the areas that you need to take full ownership of? Well, number one, you need to take ownership, right, that you are a master at the thing that you do, at your expertise. You need to take ownership of that, right? I used to downplay my expertise. I used to doubt that the marketplace would see me as an expert, right? Why would people listen to me, right? Why would people follow me on Facebook? Why would people want to jump on a call with me? Why would people want to invest in me? Can you see, my inner dialogue, right, wasn't serving me because I wasn't taking ownership of my craft, of my magic, of my genius, right? The thing that I did the best. So because I wasn't taking ownership, I wasn't showing up in the world as the person that I needed to be in order to have the business that I desired. There were another area of my life as well where I weren't taking ownership, right? I wasn't taking ownership of the relationship that I had with money. My money blueprint was way off course. And that's what was stopping me from accepting, people paying 4 figures, 5 figures to work with me. I used to charge low bargain bucket basement prices. Right? In the first 18 months in business, right, I was selling, shall we say, cheap as chips. My thought process around selling, around charging for my services was that, well, if I charge low, I'm going to get more people to invest in me. But that wasn't the truth. That wasn't the case. And I've got experience around that, right? And evidence that that's not the truth. When I started taking ownership of my money blueprint, right, my relationship with money, my beliefs around money, the way that I thought around money, right, my decisions around money-making decisions, right, once I started taking ownership of that and flipping the script of that, then my business started growing. And I started bringing in bigger chunks of cash flow more frequently. Right, which totally changed the dynamics of my business. Another area of my life where I needed to take ownership of is that, I couldn't do this by myself. For a long time in business, I was thinking, well, I'm great at doing what I do. I'm good at doing what I do. I can do this for clients. So then I should know everything about business. I should know everything about marketing. I should know everything about selling. I should know everything about creating my offer. I should know everything about setting up the backend systems. I should know everything about everything to do with business, right? And for 18 months of the first 18 months of business, I thought I knew everything. Well, that was like stinking thinking, because that wasn't the truth, right? And evidence and experience on that is that my business wasn't moving forward. So I had to take ownership that, look, I don't know everything. I can't do this by myself. I needed to invest in somebody, right, that had been where I was, but they are now where I want to be, right? So I invested in a coach. And let me just explain the experience of me doing that, right? Because at the time, to be truth told, right, I didn't have the money to invest, right? But I found the money because I knew that I needed to do that. So within 10 days, right, of investing in this coach, and going on a business retreat, within 10 days of arriving back, right, I sold £67,000 worth of new business. And there was something like 70% of that was cash collected. Now imagine, right, going from struggling in business, from business being over, like creating chaos, business being a nightmare, right? Business being really complex to run. From really not taking ownership of my craft, my expertise, my knowledge. From having a money blueprint that was way off, right? It was stopping me from earning money, good money anyway. And me trying to do it all by myself, from hiring a coach and understanding and learning a lot of things within 10 days. On 10 days of coming back from that business retreat, right, I sold £76,000 worth of new business. Without a webinar, without a funnel, without an email marketing campaign, without, hi Natasha, thanks for showing up again. I'm pleased you're impressed. Without having a book, right, without having a podcast, without having a blog, without having anything, without having an email list, without having a tribe. I didn't even have a Facebook group back then. And today it's like, still this Facebook group right now is like less than 500 people in there. And, I'm still running a multi-6-figure business. And I closed, right, £76,000 worth of new business with around about 70% of cash collected within the first 10 days. Right, all because, right, I started changing my decisions, right, and I knew, taking ownership, that I could not do this by myself, right. Prior to that, I was suffering with self-doubt. I was suffering with lack of self-worth, right? I was scared of putting myself out there for being judged, right? For people criticizing me, for people not wanting, I was scared of, well, will people show up? Why will people listen to me, right? Who am I to speak like this? What happens if I put something out there online and somebody were like, if I said the wrong things? What if I did something out there and one of my family members saw it or a friend saw it and they think like, they sent me a message, they sent me a text saying, Andy, oh, you would speak like that. Right? I had all these negative self-talk that were happening inside my head that was stopping me from doing the things that I wanted to do. So I took ownership that, look, I couldn't do this by myself. So I heavily invested in a coach that could show me how to get on the right path in order to get my results. And as I said, 10 days totally changed my life. £76,000 of the cash, not cash collected, but new business. So the two mistakes that I made when I first started, the first one was making business too complex. And the second one was not taking ownership. Not taking ownership of my dreams, not taking ownership of my vision, not taking ownership of my struggles, not taking ownership of my expertise, not taking ownership of my money blueprint, the self-negative talk that I had about money, not taking ownership of, me believing that I could do this by myself, right? I remember one of my clients that I hired, I remember when he invested a lot of money working with me. He says, I am not an island, right? I cannot do this by myself. I need somebody else who is beyond where I am. Which is smart thinking, right? It's very smart thinking. So I wanted to show up today to shine light on my mistakes, right? The mistakes that I made in the past. The mistakes that you're potentially making right now, and you're continuing to make those mistakes. Right? If what I speak about today is resonating with you, and you feel like you're doing the same things, right? I'm telling you now, just stop doing those things, right? Because they're not working for you. Start doing other things, right? Because, a sign of insanity is you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, but we know that the results are going to be the same. Okay, so I wanted to hop in here. I want to shine the light on the mistakes that I made, because I know everybody's talking about the successes that they're having and they're not being transparent, right, with the mistakes they made in the past. Yesterday, I had a $12,000 day, right? Yesterday, I had a $12,000 day. That business hasn't always been like that for me. Right? I used to say to myself that money is hard to come by, right? I actually had a conversation with somebody yesterday, a family member, excuse me, who in that conversation, for some reason, I can't remember how we got there, and I've actually just shared this with some of our clients, is that one of the conversations that they had is that they said, they dropped in the conversation that money is hard to come by. Well, I just had a $12,000 day where I no longer believe now that money is hard to come by, right? And those days are getting more regular for me, yet one of my family members was saying yesterday that money is hard to come by, and I know that they're struggling financially. So, if you are telling yourself these things about money or about yourself or about your business, right, you need to flip the script on that. You need to flip the script on that, right? Because on the other side of that, if you flip the script, right, you're going to be making better decisions about every aspect of your life, not just your business. You're going to be showing up totally different in your life and your business. The results that you're going to be generating are going to be totally different, right? Because your beliefs are different, your habits are different, your principles are different, the way that you're showing up is different. The way that you're executing on what needs to be done is going to be different. So you're going to generate different results. Business isn't all about strategy, right? I've just shared this with some of our clients. Like, strategies are plenty, principles are few. Strategies never last, yet principles always do. Right? You can't rely on success just coming from strategy alone. Seldom will your business outperform the business owner. I'll repeat that. seldom will a business or your business outperform a business owner. So if your business isn't where you desire it to be, then you're the person that's sat in the driving seat. Ask yourself why. It's time to face some truths. It's time to face some fears. It's time to say to yourself, right, enough is enough. If you've got big aspirations, if you've got a vision for either a new life that's going to be designed by running a big business, if you want to grow a big business, right, then you need to start playing bigger. So I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Just wanted to jump in here and just share some of the mistakes that I made when I first started in business. And I'm going to do a series on this, right? Because they weren't only the 2 mistakes that I made. I made a lot of other mistakes as well. So I'm going to show up quite often, maybe show up tomorrow. I'm going to share a little bit more behind the scenes of some of the other mistakes that I made that potentially you're making as well. They're stopping you from moving forward to having either 6-figure years or 6-figure quarters or 6-figure months. Okay? So if you caught me live, let me know, hashtag live. If you've got any catching this on a replay, hashtag replay. If you've got any questions around any of this, then just drop those questions underneath here and I'll get back to you at some point today or tomorrow. If what I talk about today inside this message resonates with you at some level, then again, let me know underneath. Also, again, interact with this live. Reason being is that it like feeds the algorithm, right? So, if you think that this is a powerful conversation, a powerful message, and you feel as though other people also need to hear this, right? Engage with this because it just shares the love, right? It just gives more. It greases the wheel of the algorithm and it just pushes this out there further so other people can see this. Okay, then guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have an amazing day and I'll speak to you soon.